Check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. And here in Billkeyz Studios. How we doing, everyone? Can you hear us, Bradley? We have a special thing today. Special guest actually here today. I'll turn it on if need be, Bradley. Just let me know. You can hear me or no? You can't hear us? Okay, go ahead. Turn your mic on.
Hello?
There we go. That's old Bradley there. Hey, Bradley. We have 5 for 5. Let me put it more over here on this side of the screen here. I can shrink this down. I don't think I need this. There we go. 5 for 5 309. Let's see. All right, so today, say hi, Bradley. Bradley is my son.
Hi.
We're going to talk about The Last of Us. You'll see me write some notes. So if you don't know now, we're talking about Season 1, Last of Us TV show. Spoiler. I will come back and edit the thumbnail a little bit differently. I might even put a picture of me and Bradley like this right here. You see in front of you. This is kind of a special episode for me and Bradley here. Who's a little low? Me? Hold on. Hold on. I don't want to be. How about that? No? Low? Better? I don't want to go too loud. We'll go right.
Hello.
All right. There. Bradley's low just because he don't know how to get close to the mic, but he'll get there.
I'm close to the mic.
He can't hear himself. That's why. Is it Bradley that's low or is it me that's low? That's the question. Can only go so high there. A little bit. Okay. I don't want to go too high because it'll be intense echo. Bradley, you talk. See if there's an echo.
Hi.
Yeah,
Echo.
no, you don't have to say echo because okay, so we're gonna break it down by episodes as best as we can. If you don't know by now, the show, it plays on HBO Max. It is very much something we watch together, me and my son, and we'll try our best to break it down per episode. But there will be spoilers ahead. So what we'll probably do right now, actually, I'll kind of let Bradley give his overall view. We're not going to talk about individual things now. Just give your overall view of the show. Bradley, go ahead. What?
Huh?
Oh, your overall view. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Your overall view of the show. You liked it? You disliked it? Overall, it was good. It was.
I think the first season was at least good enough.
Good enough. Okay. For
like
what?
Enough, like at least to watch.
Okay, good enough to watch. Okay. Is something that interests you as a young person?
Yes.
Okay, just keep
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the first episode. Hold on, sir. I'm trying to look. I gotta clean my glasses again. So something's really weird. It's kind of like it's not blurry here, but it's blurry there. Maybe because it's too. No, it's just blurry. It's just what it is. Okay, so episode 1 starts out where. Now, one thing we want to. I barely played the game, so I'm probably gonna start playing the game. So I don't know. It was kind of a cool experience. Bradley, you never played the game neither. I would assume. No. So me and Bradley never played the game. It ain't like Fallout. I played Fallout, so of course Fallout's kind of in a different, the same universe but a different part. This is actually a reenactment of the game. So get closer to the mic, Bradley.
I am close. I'm just not loud.
He's just not loud like his daddy. It's okay. Well, I'll pause and you'll speak. It's fine. It's not a big deal. She's just giving you a hard time. So okay. So episode 1 starts out. That I know of pretty much a lot. Some of this is like part of the game, and they take some liberties, of course, throughout the thing. So episode 1, of course, like we see Joel and his daughter. Yeah, so just know, like I said, we're talking about spoilers. So Joel and his daughter, and Bradley didn't know going into this, and I was just waiting for him to see it, and then she dies. She does die in the game. She dies also. The guy gets shot. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And she does die. She comes in, and it kills Joel pretty much. I mean, it pretty much makes him like a non. We learn later in the season that he tried to kill himself, but he missed. He so that's how he got into the infirmary. That's how he met Tess. Now there's this lady named Tess. Like I said again, I didn't know that. So him and his brother, they're cruising. The daughter's dead, and then you learn that they're survivors and they go. So
And the brother like split off. Like the brother left basically.
yeah,
They
they
split off.
separate. Yeah, correct. They were together for a little while. They separated the fire. He was part of the Fireflies, which is like the rebellion group of the main. The weird thing about that is there's different groups all over the world, but there's Fireflies all over the United States, and then there's different people. So we learn Joel. It happens. His watch he always wears it breaks. Little things like that. So episode 2 starts out where they meet Ellie. She's captured in this house with the Firefly lady. Unfortunately, you learn more about this lady. We'll talk a little bit more as we go through the episodes. You learn a little bit about how, like, she's talking about how important she is. You notice that she's bitten. They feed her. She's kind of a little asshole. She curses. She yells. She hollers. It's funny how she was raised in a post-apocalyptic world where it's just a shithole. It's just a crazy. They always call her like. I think I personally get tired of, like, everybody's like a natural born leader. Like, how do you tell that by just because she curses and yells at you and she's not a kid? She just acts like an adult because she's mature. I don't really understand. I didn't really understand none of that stuff. So, but you learn that Tess and Joel, they're kind of a couple. I would assume they're a couple, but they're just kind of like going through life willy nilly. They take jobs. They do. It's crazy how in their society they do willing and dealing. He's like, hey, give me the drugs or whatever. So it's kind of intense. So far, anything you got to say so far as we're talking, Billy? You don't have to say just say no.
No.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna keep going. If you want to chime in, just chime in. Say, hey, and start talking, and I'll stop. We gotta keep it flowing. Remember, it's a podcast. They listening on while they drive into their house, or you know what I mean. So continuing on with episode 2, we're kind of, and I might mix some of this stuff up, but at the end of the day, it's all gonna be together. You know what I mean? They take odd jobs. They do things. There's hold on. I gotta write this down because this is episode. So you notice that they're trying to get out. They got to talk to the Fireflies and things like that. So what happens after that is there's episode 3. We're talking about season 1. Yes, correct. Now episode 3 is Bill and Frank. Okay. So from what I've gathered, Bill and Frank were in the game, but they didn't really elaborate like episode 3 did. So episode 3 shows Bill and Frank meeting, falling in love, and being a couple and getting old together, which is kind of cool. It was a whole episode kind of dedicated to that, which is funny how they took it's a little piece in the game, and I don't know 100%, but I know it's not they don't show it like they do in the episodes. It's a little piece of the game, and they make it into a big episode, which is kind of cool. So hopefully they take liberties into many other things and do that.
That's why I think this is one of the more that was one of the more better episodes in my opinion.
Yeah,
They did something more interesting and world building kind of.
Yeah, well, the craziest thing is they got all kind of lore. What I'm thinking about what's going to happen here, you got to realize that this is going to go further than the game because they didn't make any more games.
That's why I liked it.
So it's going to not. I think episode 3 is really going to start. They're going to start writing story and stuff for it. So Bill and Frank. Big shout out to Bill and Frank. I love Bill. He's a survivalist. They eat strawberries. That's a big part of the episode, the strawberries. And they meet Joel and Tess. It's Tess, right? That's her name, Tess?
I think so.
Yeah, so Tess, please correct me if y'all know her name, but they meet them and they trade with them, and he meets them on the radio, and they're not friends. They just become associates. And then Bill and Frank die. The good news is they die of old age, though. So they live their good life, Now, episode 4 kind of breaks down. A lot of things I'm gonna get mixed up, but I'm pretty sure episode 4 starts where at the end of episode 3 they find a truck. They get the S10. Chevy, baby. Woo! So they get the S10. In episode 4, they start heading towards Kansas City, I believe, right? Is that I'm pretty sure.
And then they meet with like all the that entire like population, I think.
Well, they have a renegade. They have so what I'm thinking happened from what I can tell from watching this show. First of all, they get attacked and they kill people, and they have to do what they got to do. So what happens is they get stuck. Of course, in the game, I don't know if this happens, but it's funny how, oh no, there's a big truck in the way. I can't get through. It's funny how that's a typical game moment, right? Like, oh, that's blocked. Let me go around. So that's what happens with the S10. It's weird. It seems like they could have just went up the hill and went around. Even if they had to walk and get away from the truck, I don't know if that would have been a risk. I don't know. It's hard to say, though. So, yeah, they go and visit Brink in Kansas City. That's for sure. So they go to Kansas City. They get thrown a thing on top. They wreck into this thing. They killed 3 guys. They hide out. Then you learn that there's this other girl. I don't know her name, but she's like the leader. Well, her and her brother were a leader of the resistance in this area. So what happens is this area was controlled by something and then got taken over by the resistance. They raided and then they hung people. They got people hanging. They killed people. It's fucking nuts. And then in this episode, I'm pretty sure you look down in this room. There's like things under the ground. So I think they drove the infected to the underground. So let me come back to this. I'm gonna talk about zombie. So they drove the infected to the underground. And it's interesting because the guy's like, she's got her main man with her. He's like, no, we're not gonna go down there. They close the door. It's funny how all of a sudden, oh no, because we'll talk about the episode here in a second, later in the episode. So they meet up with her. She's then they cut back. They're looking for someone. So we don't know who they're looking for yet, but they're looking for somebody. They have a doctor. She kills him. He's dead. Come to find out, they're looking for. There's a guy and his little brother. The little brother is mute, so he signs or he writes down. And come to find out, Joel and all hide up in this hotel, and they sneak up there and find them. Now they don't want to fight them or kill them, but they tell them, "Hey, look, you get me here, we'll get you out." Right? That's how it went down, Bradley. I think it's like, we're gonna. Yeah, so they
agreed with each other, and then they made a plan to escape.
They played a plan, go through the tunnels, So I really thought they were going to fight infected down there, me personally, but no, they didn't. So they kind of come out. No, wait, what happens? Yeah, so they come out and it's they're in like a little cul-de-sac area, and a sniper guy shoots, and there's something that happens in this episode. I believe so. We're in episode 4 that starts to change. Because Joel, the guy who's sniping, Joel actually was going to show him mercy. And if you learn anything about Joel, he is fucking ruthless.
Oh, wait, this is episode 5.
5 or 4? What's 4?
This is 4 was when they first arrived there, and then
they first started to escape.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, something that happens in episode 4 too. They get in this little tunnel, and inside the tunnel, they're kicking the volleyball and they're having a good time. And Ellie and the little boy becomes friends. We didn't know we were going to do this podcast, so I didn't write a bunch of notes. So that's what episode 5 is. 5 is where they start. Let's see. When civilization bring.
5 is where they're in the tunnels. They
escape in the tunnel. So what happens is there's a sniper guy that starts to shoot him. So Joel works himself around, and that's when you start to learn that I guess Ellie's rubbing off on him because she is. He says, "Look, don't reach for the gun. Stop." And he does, and Joel has to shoot. Joel has to shoot him. He's trying to let him live, but he has to shoot him. So he shoots him, and he kills him. So he takes his gun. And then he notices the radio. He's like, "Oh shit, the radio's coming!" So all of a sudden, he sees the trucks coming. My favorite, it's a funny part in the thing. He's like, "Oh, there's trucks in the way." He's like, "That's what you're in the front for, idiot." They have like a bulldozer that hits the trucks and stuff. So they have a big, huge kind of. They hit the trucks. They stop, and they're Joel. So Joel's up in the house with a sniper gun, and then they have the brother and the guy and the brother, and Ellie's down there by the truck, and he's like, "Look, we'll come out." Blah blah blah, whatever. So like, okay, she's doing her speech. Blah blah blah. I don't know this girl's name. Sorry, she didn't really. So, and then all of a sudden, the infected come out the ground. And it's crazy. Joel's shooting them. They're running, they're dodging, they're swooping and scooping. and then a big boy comes out the ground. Now he never dies. The big guy, right? The big guy never dies.
Nah, he just keeps on like attacking. He kills that one guy.
He kills the main like sergeant, like general guy or whatever, like for the lady. But the point is, like, we never see him die, you know. But they kill some. In fact, they're doing it. So all of a sudden they get loose. They run around. They find a hotel.
There's some cool parts in that scene though.
There's good. We get
I like the one where the girl's in the car and like she's getting attacked by like.
Oh yeah, the little crazy leg girl. Oh my god, if y'all seen that, she's like.
That's the one that kills the main like lady that runs it.
Oh yeah, she jumps on him. Yeah, so she's like, "Don't move," and all of a sudden the little what's when you really stretching, you can bend like in the circus or whatever. She jumps on him and starts fucking her up. This is crazy.
And then they like escape.
Yeah, then they escape to the hotel. So what happens here? It's kind of interesting. It's so Ellie and the little boy. Yes, Pam, we're doing a podcast. Ellie and the little boy, they start talking. They're bonding. They're already bonded in the basement with the soccer and stuff like that. They've already become kind of friends. I'm gonna talk about the infected here in a second. That's what I wrote down. I forgot to talk about that at the beginning, but I'm gonna when I recap, we'll talk a little bit about it. Yes, we'll talk about the zombies infected or whatever we want to call them. So the little boy talking to her, telling her, "Well, stay up with me, please." And the little boy's infected. Now, one thing about Ellie, sorry, we should say this. I guess we can start that now. We'll come back to that. Let's put little boy, put boy. We're on that part. Okay, so the zombies in here are very, very scary in regards that they're based off of real life things. So they're based off of a plant, like a bacteria that gets like a plant. It's a plant that can get in your body. That actually this infection exists. You can look it up. Don't look it up if you don't want to. But it kills like ants. That it goes inside the ant and makes the ant do whatever it wants, and then eventually it kills it. It infects it. Normally it cannot. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Normally it cannot affect humans because of how our body produces. It's too hot or too cold, or I don't know what the reason is. But then come to find out, what was it, in Russia or no? Not
like in a more like.
It was like in India or someplace. There's a lady, and they go pick her up, and come to find out, this person is infected, and they're like, "This, there's no way." Like, she is the #1 person in the world that studies that plant or that bacteria her whole life. She's done it her whole life.
But then, like, after she's done studying, we realize that, like, she coughs and she's like now infected. Like,
she's infected, but then she looks at the guy and she goes,
yeah. Like, there's no way
she tells him, he's like, "What should we do?" She goes, "Bomb everything." Like, she says, "Kill everybody," pretty much, because it's never going to stop. So these are plant-like based infected. So they'll be like, they'll still bite you and scratch you or whatever. I don't know if it's they have to bite you, I think. But they can come up to you and like, open their mouth and like infect you that way too. Like they put spores in your mouth and stuff. It's very scary because it's based off of real life situations. So that's kind of how you get infected. Now what happens with Ellie, you'll notice, you learned this at the second episode. She is immune. We're going to discuss why she's immune here in a little bit. She's very immune. So now, since we're talking about the zombies, might as well bring this up. We'll come back to the little boy episode. We'll recap there. Why do they not have? I'm not saying they have to have a machete, but like a pole with a stabby thing. Like, you can make makeshift weapons that's not gonna hurt your hands to hit zombies in the head. Maybe not an axe, but some type of weapon. They have knives. At least in The Walking Dead, they're big on using your knife first to kill the zombies. But it seems like, from what I could tell, right, Bradley, like, it seems like you can hit them in the head and they're gonna die. Like the little zombies, anyways.
But they're more like going for the neck and.
Well, my point is, like, it seems like if you hit them in the head, like, or even bash them with a bat, they'll die. Like, because once you lose your brain, it's over. I don't think the zombie will keep moving. Did you notice that in the episodes that once they take their head off, it's over with.
Yeah, when they go for the head, like, they're totally.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Why don't they build little sticks or like, I don't know. Like, it's very, very interesting how they don't work, how it works in this world. But it's a game based off a game too, so you got to keep the story moving. You got to keep going. Now, the both people who play these characters, Pedro Pascal and I don't know the little girl's name, they're great. I think all the
it's-
side characters are great too. We're gonna come back to that. We'll,
I think her name is like Bella Ramsey. I think.
oh, her name's Bella.
Bella Ramsey. I don't
Bella
think-
Ramsey. Okay, got it. Okay, so back to the little boy. Her and Ellie, and the almost said Bella. That's funny. The little boy are talking. He's infected, so she takes her blood and tries to put it on his wound to heal him. And guess what? It didn't work. So so all of a sudden it becomes daytime. She knows the little boy is sitting on the bed, and he actually is infected. So he jumps at her. The brother grabs the gun and ends up shooting his own little brother in the like bam, he kills him. And then they're like, what? And then the brother kills himself right there on the episode. Boom, So it's crazy how Ellie has seen all this stuff. Like she's been through so much shit. It's such a crazy situation.
Yeah.
So we are. Let's see. So we're there. We're the little boy side characters, and then now we are. So they get going. I don't think. So they just travel. You could tell they're talking. You could tell they're bonding. Did they get to the hospital? They got to the hospital first? No, that's after the episode of the brother. Okay, never mind. So then they get to the point where they find where the brother is. So he's no longer part of the Fireflies. They were pretty much, that's episode 6. They attack him. And they don't attack him, but they hey, who are you? And they're like, I'm looking for my brother Tony. His name's Tony, I believe. And he's like, oh, really? So they come up to the civilization. They have they live in the mountains, so snow. They just stay up there because it's secluded, and they just don't let anybody in. It don't seem kind of weird at first, but I was like, nah, they got power from the dam. They have a pretty good setup up there. They really do. They got so they have that. They got the walls around it. They have a whole community. You get your own house. They have every livestock. They got livestock. They got stuff. They don't really grow. It seems like they're growing stuff, so they must not be too far in the cold, right, Bradley? I don't think they're too far in the cold. So it's pretty good setup there. So they get to a point on this episode where Joel is just, you could tell he's like, he's kind of struggling. He's getting old, something that wears us all down. We get old, everybody. So he's getting old, and he's like, man, he's talking to his brother. Come to find out, his brother is, his woman is with child. So he's going to be a daddy. He does talk shit about Joel and tell him he was a shitty dad or something like that. Pretty much, he told him he said he was sorry, and then come to find out, Joel's like, "Hey, Tony, I need you to take her to the university to try to figure the cure." And he's like, "Man, I really can't go." I said, "Man, I can't go no more. Pretty much, I'm old. Blah blah blah." Ellie's like, "Screw that shit. I want you to go. It should be you." Blah blah blah. And then come to find out, it's gonna be Joel all along. So that's one thing that's really cool. I kind of thought it was going to be Joe. I didn't think nobody else was going to go. I don't know. I don't think anybody else from that community would want to go because they got a good life there. They got water. They got everything they need to survive. And one thing I was telling Bradley is just funny because they talk about these raiders, and they do have a few raiders in this show so far in the season, but there's not really a lot of raiders. There is some, but not a lot. It's more community.
Like that's more far. More far.
You're not by the mic. Wherever you are, you're not there.
There you go. There's an episode.
We're gonna get there.
It's the next one, but the Raiders play a more important.
Well, it's actually it's episode 8. It's episode 8 because next episode is when you learn how she gets bitten and how the little girl dies. Yeah. But it's crazy how humanity at the worst of why don't we all come together to fight the infected? No, we rather fight each other. And that's kind of the way the world is, man. If I told Bradley that, I said we're fucking stupid, and I try to tell him that, and that just to try to show him there's no need to be like that. Let's make it better. Now, but also you got to be prepared for people that are like that because they'll get you, So it's almost a life lesson in that regards. So we are on episode 7. So 7 is another kind of like Bill and Frank episode. It's her and this little girl. I guess they're not little girls. I don't know how old they are, but whatever. It's her and a girl that she met at the camp. So I guess when she was raised at this camp, it's like I would call it more of a military camp.
Yeah.
And her friend, Ellie, meets her old friend. They don't say her name.
She's a firefly. She just
Well, yeah,
she just became a firefly.
Yes. So she turns into a firefly. Now, she's like, "Hey, Ellie, it's my last night here. Let's go have some fun." I didn't know what was gonna go on. I thought they were gonna get killed, honestly, like really bad. So they come to find out, they turn on some power, and they're in a mall. So very interesting. It's funny to like I joke when me and Bradley go to the mall here and be like, "Look, it's a rare thing of the mall." So they do a couple cool things. I called the Ferris wheel, by the way, so I just want everybody to know. I was like, it's got to be the Ferris wheel's coming. So, a little Easter egg. They got a poster of Mortal Kombat 2 in her bedroom in the military camp. I'm gonna tell you what the Fireflies are in a second. In the in her thing, and they end up playing Mortal Kombat 2 inside this thing. I would have whooped her good though. Fireflies are the resistance for the rest of the world. They're like the rebellion. That's their names. They're Fireflies. So she joins them. Like they plant bombs, they blow up the city, they rebel against the government, whatever. I don't call government, but whatever you want to call them. So this girl joins the Fireflies, and Ellie is her friend. Now come to find out, they like each other, but more than just friendship in that regards. Well, I know Ellie does, and I think she likes her back. But so they play Mortal Kombat in here. They ride the Ferris wheel. They dance on top of a glass thing with some mask on. What else do they do? I'm trying to think. I don't know. That's about it. Huh?
They took photos.
They took photos in the photo booth. Which you barely see, but she goes, "That's the good one, whatever." How the hell the photo booth works after fucking 30 years of not working. But so yep. So they do that. Now come to find out, you can't tell, but they do show it in the episode. There's a zombie off into this room over there, and the zombies have an ability to where they're like, some of them are just laying there, and they're growing on the wall or whatever, and they can tick. They go, they can there's different types of zombies. There's the tickers. I think they're all kind of tickers because they got the things on their head. Not all of them have that though, if I remember correctly. But whatever, some of them can only they don't see. They only can hear you, so you can be really quiet. Again, if you had a big weapon with a blade on the end, you could be like, boo, bam, stab in the face. But so in this episode, there's a zombie, and it comes and attacks them. They fight, they shoot. Now, let's get back. Let's kind of retrack. She looks around, and all of a sudden, you see the little girl. She has bombs, and she's like, "Oh, what are you going to?" She's like, "I'm leaving forever. I'm going to Boston." Right? It was Boston. I think it's Boston.
Something like that.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, I'm going there." Like I said, Bradley, you chime in whenever you want. If you have something to say, you just okay. So she's like, "Oh," and they're kind of going back and forth, like, "Oh, I miss you." Blah, blah, blah. So they were gonna leave. So the zombie attacks them, and you don't see this in the episode, but they do talk about it in future episodes. She has to kill her friend, and that's how Ellie knows she's immune, because she has a scar on her arm, and they freak out. So that's the end of that episode. You kind of learn it's boo, it's sad, blah blah blah. So, and then okay, so we are episode 8. They come to the college, which is it's kind of cool. It's very abandoned. You see the college, you see what's going on. They walk upstairs, they go through some stuff, blah blah blah. They have a horse. They end up leaving with a horse. They have their horse. Before that, they're kind of talking, they're chatting. Oh, they go shooting. She shows them how to. Joel shows her how to shoot, and they kind of laugh and joke. And on the thing it says asshole or something like that. It's pretty funny. They ride around. They get to this where the horse is, where the college is. It's empty. Now they upstairs. They notice the Raiders are there. So they kind of let's go get right before they get on the horse. A Raider attacks them. I would assume they're Raiders. We're gonna call them that. Joe gets him, he whoops him, blah, 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 whatever. All of a sudden, he notices he got stabbed in the stomach with like a baseball bat. It looked like a baseball bat anyways. It might have just broke off, whatever. So fuck, they're panicking. Ellie gets him on the horse, they're riding, he falls off, and they're laying down, and they're in the basement. Is that the episode set? No, whatever. They're laying down in the basement. He tells her, look, he pretty much she gives him a knife, and he's like, hey, just go. It's whatever. And she kind of comes to the top of the steps, and she's like, screw that shit. We're doing this. So she looks around. She stitches him up. He's trying to live, whatever. Now she goes hunting. Now in this episode, you'll note they have another group of people. I don't know this guy's name, but they have a group of people, another settlement. They look like they're more in the wintertime. They're like really, it's cold. They can't grow crops. They're hungry, very hungry. Everybody, just remember that. Ugh, it's gross. So they're very hungry. So she's hunting. They were hunting. She shoots a deer. They find a deer, and she tells them, back up, blah, 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 whatever. And then she's like, you got medicine? I said, you can get half the deer if you give me some medicine. So I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's get to the point. These people that we're talking about at this village, they hungry. They eat people. So I'm pretty sure they killed the guy. They blame it on Joel, but I don't remember Joel killing nobody of their clan, if I remember correctly. Right, Bradley? Bradley?
I think it was one of the.
Yeah, but Joel didn't kill him. They blamed them because they wanted to eat him.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think they blamed Joel because Joel didn't kill. Maybe, but whatever. It is what it is. They definitely blamed. I think they blamed. Oh, they found Joel, whatever. So they did give her medicine. So Joel got better. He's getting better, but they capture Ellie. He bites him on the hand, and she's like, "Look, I'm infected, whatever." So he talks for a long time. So I'm not gonna go over all. Like he's like, "Hey, be my buddy, join our people, blah blah blah." So whatever. The reason why we know that they eat people at first, she looks down and she sees an ear on the ground, and she's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And then they're making a stew. They're making a stew and they bring the meat and he's like, it's venison. And I was like, oh shit, bro, they're eating people. So that was before they found the ear, but whatever. So all of a sudden, Joel gets better. Sorry, I hit that. My bad. Joel gets better. He ends up killing. They're looking for him. He kills all those dudes. He's torturing. He beats the shit out of people. He don't give a fuck. He's crazy. So he starts to go find Ellie. In the mix of that, they grab her, try to chop her up. She grabs homeboy a big hatchet. She stabs one dude in the neck. It would look great, actually. Then she's fighting this guy. She ends up throwing a thing and trying to burn down the cabin. And she stabs this dude, and she is freaking out, going, blah, blah, blah. She is just fucking this dude up. And she goes ballistic on him. She kills him. She kills him. She like stabs him, kills him, whatever.
And like Joel is in the area.
Joel's in the area, yeah. So she leaves, and Joel kind of grabs her, and Joel's like, oh, she's freaking out, whatever. It is what it is. And that's end of that episode, right? That's about the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So last episode, episode 9. There's 9 episodes total. I think they get to a point, and they get jumped, right? And they knock them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they knock him out. The interesting thing about the last episode, and it may be me, but it's not very long, but it is long. You know what I mean? It went by really quick.
Yeah. So
they knock him out. They wake up. He's like, hey, where's Ellie? And the lady's like, oh, no. We got the backstory when she was born. That's what happened on episode 9.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's start. We're going to start fresh on the end. So at the beginning of that episode, there's a lady running through the woods. Oh, she's pregnant. She got a yellow dress on. She's like, She's like, help me, whatever. And she's like, help me. She's like, oh. And then she crawls upstairs. She got the door. She's sitting on the thing. And the infected bites her as she's giving. Actually, it's right before she gave birth. I think she said it's not, but it was. She kills the infected. She got bit. She hangs out with Ellie, she's a little girl. She cuts her umbilical cord. She's holding her. The leader of the Fireflies, comes up and says, hey, she tells her name, give her this knife. The lady's like, kill me. She's like, no, I'm not going to. And then she ends up shooting her.
Because
they end up bleeding. She's infected, yeah. She's like, kill me, whatever. So that's how Ellie was born. That's why I think she's immune. So she's immune. The leader of the Firefly lady, which is the same lady that had to kill her mom. I don't think she knows that, but whatever. She's like, hey, cordyceps, we're gonna extract them. We're gonna, and we're gonna make a cure. Joel's like, wait, how you say it? Cordyceps or whatever. I'm sorry if I say it wrong. They're in the brain. So they have to. Ellie's got to die to get this. Ellie has to die to extract it from her brain. There's no way of taking that shit out your brain without dying. So Joel's like, no. So they take him, whatever. They probably should have killed Joel right there, honestly. They should know better. But whatever. It's a game. In the game, they don't do that. That's what it is. So Joel gets loose in the hospital. They're in a hospital now. Joel gets loose and kills like 30 dudes. Joel fucking shoots everybody. He kills everyone. He walks up on she walks up. He walks in the emergency room. The doctor don't even get a chance to say anything. He just shoots that motherfucker in the face. He dies. Boom, dead.
He grabs like one of the little sharp things and like, I won't let you take it, and then he just shoots him.
Pow! He grabs the scalpel, and he goes, pow! Dead. Rolls up in there. Pow! Dead. He's like, y'all turn around. Grabs the girl. Now, he gets to the bottom of the thing, the leader of the Firefly lady. He shoots her. You don't know she shoots her. It's kind of weird. Like he's holding Ellie, and he kind of comes up and goes, pow, and shoots her. And then he puts Ellie in the car. Then he comes back, and she's like, well, let me go. He's like, you're just going to track her down. Pow, pow. He kills her right there. They take off in the car. They cruising. You know. They get to where his brother is back in Kansas City, I would say, right? Is that Kansas City? I don't know, whatever it is. We'll say Kansas City. I'm sorry if that's wrong.
No, it is Kansas, yeah.
Okay. So she looks at Joel and says, so Joel tells her, this is what Joel tells her. The truth is Joel got in there and killed everybody and took her away. Joel tells her some raiders came into the hospital and we had to get away. And that's what he tells her.
That they found another person with.
Oh yeah, they have multiple people with her condition, and they're going to use them to make a cure, but they couldn't make a cure.
Then the Raiders came in.
Then the Raiders came in. Yeah, exactly. So she looks at Joel and says, "Joel, swear to me that's what happened." And Joel lies to her and tells her, "Yeah," right at the end of the episode, because they're going to. It looks beautiful actually. And the one thing, there's a lot of talking. They're like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" Blah blah blah. There's a lot of yakking back and forth. Like Joel treats her like her daughter now, you know. So they build that relationship over time to get to this point, which is kind of crazy. So overall, I love this show. It's pretty good. Like considering I never played the game enough to say I played it, it's good. Bradley, right?
It's pretty good. It's decent.
Well, how will we ask I'm gonna ask a couple questions to Bradley. Just make sure you keep your mic close to you. What is your favorite side character other than Joel and Ellie? Well, how about you think about it, and I'll answer. I actually like a few people. I like Tess, even though we don't get to see her that much. I think Tess is probably my favorite. And I actually like the general guy that dies from the big boy monster, even though he's not that big of a character in this thing. So, who's your favorite side character, bro?
I did like the brother. He was pretty interesting.
Okay. The two brothers, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean Tony?
Yeah, Tony.
Oh, Tony. Tone. He's intense. Gonna be a new dad. Gotta call his.
And also the two brothers that we meet. I think they had a good like overall thing to the story, like of how like truly Ellie cannot really like heal with her blood, like when the little boy's infected.
Correct. Yeah, they cannot.
Like important thing.
She can't use her blood. They have to use her brain. That's the one thing we kind of figured out throughout this whole thing. So, did Ellie know the whole time that she was going to have to die? No. See, I don't think in the show she does not know. We don't know that yet. That could come out in season 2. In the show, you do not know. Like, you don't see them asking her or telling her, hey, they didn't give her a choice like that we know of. They knocked them out, put her on the operating table. Now they may have. I don't know. I didn't play the game neither, so I don't know. They did not have any type of scene in the show saying, hey, are you okay with doing this to try to make a cure? They did not give her a choice. We don't know that. Nor did Joel. Like, I didn't hear him say that. Did you hear him say that, Bradley, for a choice for the cure?
No.
See, I didn't see any choice. I really didn't see them say, hey, Ellie, do you want to do this or not? So that's kind of where we are with that. I didn't hear a choice. So overall, I do like the show. I definitely recommend people watching it. The interesting thing is season 2 is out, episode 2, by the time of us talking about this and recording this today. It's out now. So we may do a wrap-up video of season 2. It'd be interesting to see. It's going to get a little bit brutal in season 2 if you played Last of Us 2. I know what happens.
I know what happens.
So now we all know what happens, yes. So it has to happen in the show, but it's what it is.
Apparently it happens this episode, I think.
I suppose the truth. Yeah, it's going to be the big boy. Everybody's probably talking about it, that's for sure. So the question I have for you, Bradley, is that you definitely recommend the show? You would watch it?
Yes. Overall, the first season. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
First season's like pretty at least good.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. So we do. The reason why we know those people eat, they do claim that they do say that they eat people too. By the way, it wasn't in. They show the ear, but they talk about eating people, and they have people hanging in their meat locker or whatever the hell too.
That was a crazy scene.
Yeah,
where Joel walks in.
Yeah, they got 3 people hanging there, and what's weird about it is I don't think they're just kids. It's a little bit of everybody, but whatever, it is what it is. I mean, they process them pretty good, I guess. But other than that, I just love the show. It's very. There's not a lot of zombies.
No, but it's still really
infected.
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but there's not a lot of infected that you see. There's probably 2 times where there's a horde of infected, and yeah, it's enough. It's enough to keep you guessing. I probably would have did it like 1 per episode or whatever, but and it is. Maybe I'd have to go back and see if it's whatever. So
you didn't even have it in like the last episode.
I don't think there was none in the last episode at all. No, but overall it's good. You know, a lot of interesting things. Like I said, golf club, baseball bat. I don't understand, with a knife on it. I don't know why they don't do that, but it is what it is. So this is kind of an enjoyable situation of the Billkeyz show, kind of a spinoff of the game. We usually on the Billkeyz show we only talk about games, but I'm gonna edit a thumbnail and I'm gonna put a better thumbnail later. But I wanted to have something up. Anything else you want to add for this, Bradley?
No. All I'm gonna say is that it was actually like really enjoyable than I thought. Even like going, because I know you played the game and maybe at least knew some stuff about it, but like I didn't know anything about it. Like I knew the game, but like I didn't know mostly anything.
Yeah, exactly. It just I played enough to know a few things, but you can watch this by yourself. You don't have to play the game. I guess what Bradley's trying to say is you don't have to play the game to watch this show. You can watch it, enjoy it, have a great time. It's a great drama. The best is we're watching it, and my wife goes, "Isn't this a drama?" I was like, "Pam, Jesus, whatever." It was just funny.
Remember when she walked in on the baby scene?
The babies. I remember the baby. Thank God she didn't see old Bill and Frank making out and stuff. That was intense. Old Bill and Frank. So that's actually a great, like, supposedly that's one of the greatest episodes on TV in the last things. I don't know how many awards this thing won, but it's pretty intense. So we're gonna get to see Pedro Pascal a little bit longer, not much longer. But at least we get to see him on Fantastic Four. And me and Bradley may do some more reviews like this for other movies or whatever. Just suggest whatever you guys want. And I appreciate everybody coming and stop by. I'm going to do my little thing here. And then, Bradley, got anything else before we get going here? All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming by. I love you all. We'll definitely try to hopefully have a schedule this week for streaming. But because of the person that's talking on the mic other than me, we change things. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for all the brand deals, all the sponsorships. Go check out our merch store, everything like that. Buy some shirts. Everything is great. You guys are the best. Boom shakalaka.